So if you want to export your multiterm file into a tab delimited text file, then you have basically two options, or maybe there are more options, but I only know of these two. So first of all, you can use Bohemicus, which is this tool right here, to do it automatically, or you can do it manually. So in the second part of this video, I'm going to show you what a Trados multiterm file is actually all about, and how to actually mine all the data from it into Excel or into a text file. So let's get into it. Let's start with the first way of exporting your multiterm into a tab delimited text file. So you can simply go to this concordance tab and then to multiterm, and you just then take your multiterm file, which we have right here, and you just drag and drop it onto Bohemicus. And as you can see, it will show you all the entries in this file. This file contains English and Dutch as languages. As you can see, it will show you two columns here, but the problem is they are not matched against each other. So if you scroll down, you can see that there are some English terms that have probably no Dutch translation. And if you want to match them, if you want to order them, then what you can do is to select your source language, which would be English, and then target language, which would be Netherlands or Dutch. I don't know why it's named as Netherlands, it should be Dutch. And then you just click match. And it will match all the entries against each other. So as you can see, everything is now matched exactly. I don't speak any Dutch, but I think base fraction is something like afvalfractie. That could be the exact translation. And as you can see, this weigh-in and weging in Dutch, I don't know how to pronounce it, seems to be good translation of it. So these entries are now matched, and if you want to export them, then what you can do, you can simply click this export button. This will open a save dialog, and you can just name it. So let's name it as export, and you click save. And as you can see, this will save it into a text file which you can open, and as you can see, it's a tab delimited text file. Or what you can do also, you can actually select all your entries. You can select them like this, and then you could go to your Excel and you simply press Ctrl+V and you can paste your entries into Excel, and once you're in Excel you can actually do whatever you want with it. So this was the Bohemicus way, and now I'm going to show you what is a multiterm file actually all about, and how to manipulate it manually. So a multiterm file is actually a Microsoft Access database. And so you can open it in Access, but first thing you need to do is to actually rename its file extension, and we can do it using Bohemicus again with the context menu. So I'm right-clicking it, and I select rename file extension, and you rename it to the MDB. Like I think it stands for Microsoft Database, so MDB. You add MDB, and you press rename. And as you can see, it will become a Microsoft Access database file, which you can now simply open. So let's double click and open it in Excel. And as you can see on the left, we have here lots of tables. But the most important one for you, if you want to export your files, your entries, is probably these empty indexes. So let's double click and open it. And as you can see, this empty indexes table contains all the languages present in your Microsoft Access or your multiterm file. So now we know that we have English and Dutch. I don't know why they name it Netherlands, it's really strange. But anyway, it's English and Dutch, so we can minimize it. And as you can see, these tables are here, English and Dutch, or Netherlands as they name it here, but with the I underscore prefix. I'm not really sure why they add this prefix. They probably have some reasons for it. But when you now double click this table, so for instance, let's take this English table, you can see that it will show you all the terms in English. So now you could basically select them all, again, press Ctrl+C and you could go to your Excel and you could simply paste it here. And you got your English terms. So as you can see, this is always named as ORIC term. And then when you go to the Dutch table, that's pretty much the same thing. You can again copy it out and then you go back to your Excel and you simply paste it here. And as you can see, you have it here. But unfortunately, as you can see, they don't match because probably some entries in the Dutch translations are missing. So that's the problem with the manual approach. In Bohemicus, I'm doing it based on the SQL language, so I can always match the terms exactly. And you match it using this column here. So, for instance, let's go to the English one, and let's say that we want to take this consequential LCA entry. So what you need to do, you need to take this concept ID column. And as you can see, concept ID for consequential LCA is 15. And now when you go to your Dutch table and you look up 15, then you can see that is the translation in Dutch. So if you know anything about the SQL language, it's a database language, so you would use this concept ID key to match the English and Dutch translations. That will be the inner join command in SQL, if you know anything about SQL. But well, if you don't want to do it manually, you can always do it with Bohemicus. So these were a few words about the Trados multiterm file. As you can see, you can export it easily using Bohemicus, or you can do it manually when you rename the file extension of your multiterm, and then you just simply open it in Microsoft Access. So thank you for watching, and see you in some other video.